Wasn't gonna do a second video today, but I kind of like the authenticity of being able to show people that this shadow work is like a real thing that we have to do. I went to go pick my son up from my brother's house, who lives about 30 minutes north of me. And on the way home, I was thinking about all of the generational curses that I've been breaking since 2020. COVID was hard for me because this took people's identities away and I couldn't see anybody's faces anymore. So I was confused all the time. And then me having to wear one was like a whole trigger that I didn't want to deal with. One of my bosses came into the grooming salon, and I'd only been working for the company for less than a year. He came into the grooming salon and wigged out on me because I had the mask down here so that way I could breathe, because I was having panic attacks from having the mask over my face because of some of the shit that I went through when I was a kid with the babysitter who did what he wanted with me. And anyway, I broke down bawling my eyes out because of that situation, because I was held down with a hand over my mouth and told to keep quiet about it, or he was going to tattle on me for some, I was like 6, for some dumb shit that I did earlier that day or whatever, but just to be quiet about it. I had to deal with that in 2020. And then shortly after that, a woman who I considered to be my best friend, I completely disconnected from her. Completely disconnected. I had my horse and goats at her farm, and we were like co-owning all the animals together. It was like a co-op situation. I bought my own feed and hay. I went up, however many nights a week and cleaned the whole barn, cleaned all the stalls. Or in the mornings I would come and do breakfast and let them out, like whatever. We just like co-opted the whole thing. I had a horse and 2 goats at her place, and I think it was at the end of 2021 when her older gelding, Alexa, volume 3, when her gelding colicked and died, I completely disconnected because I watched him take his last breath. And that was only like within a year of me having to put 2 of my horses down. So I just saw 3:33 on the timer. Yeah, so I totally disconnected from that relationship. It was a year. It was almost a year before I realized what I had done. So the last time I had talked to her was in September, and then that following March, I reached out with a happy birthday. It took her almost a month to respond to me. And the following August, I sent her, it was like the end of August, was, when this grand thing fucking exploded in my life, and my whole family was erupting. I had CPS in my house every fucking week for almost 3 months. Adam had to move out for a while. The kids were in therapy. It was all surrounding his drug addiction, and which caused the disconnection in the first place, because I was depressed and angry. And so anyway, I wasn't really dealing with my personal shit. I was taking the kids to therapy, but I was ignoring myself. And that was like the dark night, that because it happened around my birthday. We went to a Three Doors Down concert, me and Adam, because we share a birthday. So that was what our birthday gift to each other was that year. We went to a concert. It was cool, man. It was like right after pot got legalized in Virginia. So like we could roll a couple doobies, and we went to the amphitheater and we got fucking stoned and we listened to good music. It was Candlebox and Three Doors Down. We had a fucking blast. I got a phone call from my daughter's ex-boyfriend's mom that she was in a fight with a bunch of other kids down at the park, and the ex-boyfriend's brother was involved and he got stabbed in the hand. And that was really like the breakdown with my son too, because he had decided that he didn't want to be home anymore during that time, and he was gonna just do whatever the fuck he wanted to. So I wouldn't see him for like weeks at a time. And I was putting Facebook posts out there like, I have no idea where my son is. He hasn't checked in with me. If you see him, tell him I love him and he needs to get his ass home. And on 3 different occasions, I had to call the sheriff's department to go and get my kid. The kids were a mess. I was a mess. He was an even worse mess. So when we got home from the concert, he took my car. He went to go see my son, and then he proceeded to go get high. And the next morning, he still wasn't home. And my mom was here in town, and I had to suck it up and ask my mother, who doesn't even live here, isn't involved in my day-to-day life. I had to ask her to take me to the magistrate's office so I could file charges for unlawful use of my property. The month prior to that, I had sent my friend, I had sent her a text, the woman that I disconnected from, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna come the weekend of August 23rd, and I'm going to pull my horse trailer, pull all my tack, get my horse and my goats out of your barn and be done with the animals. I said I really valued our friendship and everything that you did for me over the years. I said, but I can't afford the animals. I can't mentally be able to take care of them. So it's time that I just be done. And during this time, I cried every day because I realized that our friendship was over too. That I had did that. And every day it was a who the fuck have I become? Every day. Every day. So I was thinking about these generational curses that I've been breaking through this experience. And the mother wound is one that has been a lot to process. I'm the oldest daughter of the oldest daughter of the oldest daughter. And there's a lot of trauma that my ancestors bled onto each other, and that I eventually got bled on too. My uncle and my partner were friends, and they did dope together, and I realized that he pulled away from me as soon as I made the connection with him and Adam. He pulled away from me, my uncle did, because it was time for me to deal with that shadow on my own. There were patterns of staying silent to keep the peace. There was patterns of healing that was done through awareness instead of self-abandonment. All of this while I was learning self-care. Ending the stay even when it hurts loop. I now know that I have the freedom to make the choice to leave whenever I want to. And I will. I've been challenging shame-based religious programming during this time, not only with myself and with him, but with my mother. I've had to deal with the father wound and the suicide wound around that. I've been interrupting cycles of emotional chaos and reparenting myself, and then she showed up at my house today. Hazel ran out of the yard, grabbed somebody by his ass, and they called animal control. And I find out that she's been escaping the yard quite frequently and chasing kids on bikes all the way up to the stop sign at the end of our street. She came by today, and I've been having to face that grief, and it fucking hurts. She was somebody that I looked up to, like an aunt or an older sister or even a mom. And I've been journaling about it. I think about her often. I do. She's part of my heart. She taught me about Wicca. She introduced me to spirituality. She made me realize that there was more to the Bible than just shame and judgment. Because we all have these gifts of telepathy and telekinesis and some, psychometry. Like, we as humans are capable of so much more than just existing. I'm heartbroken for a friend that I depended on. And I realized that there was patterns of codependency, and I was putting her in a role that she should have never been in. There was no equal give and take at all. And that was both of our faults. Neither one of us were living presently. Things were kept very professional. Adam dealt with the situation with the dog. I had the shot records. I keep them in my car. So she was in the driveway when we were pulling up from picking stash up from my brother's house. So I immediately, grabbed the dog book, met her in the driveway. Adam talked to her because he was actually the one that dealt with the dog situation when it happened. So he dealt with all of the talking. They were both trying to talk over each other, and I just stood there and watched and waited. Do you need to see her shot records? And I had the book open already to her file to show her shot records. She was like, no, I don't need to see them because there was no skin that was broken. It's just a complaint about a nuisance dog, but I'll look at them. Of course she knows my shots are up to date. We were friends forever. She just kept it professional, so I stayed quiet. My body seized. I was calm and neutral. Adam and her talked about her oldest daughter just got married, so they talked about that for a second. I wish I could tell her how much I love her. I do. I just couldn't hold on to that life anymore. I really just couldn't. Like, I simply just outgrew her, and I think she outgrew me. And the love never goes away. It's like breaking up with your first boyfriend, losing a friend that you're that close to. Our kids grew up together. We went on trips together. my horses were at her property for almost 20 years. We went on camping, and we went out during hurricanes. We, camped together during hurricanes and hotels. Family dinners. She came to my house and we went to her house. She's known me since before my two youngest were ever born. And they're 18 and 19. So it's been tough. This year I had to go through the whole thing of, that sabbatical that I went on for almost 4 months. Was because I was called a fraud. And then my mother told me just to forgive myself and heal already. And now I feel like I'm making new friends, but the friendships aren't being reciprocated, and maybe I made the mistake of thinking that social media friends were real friends, and I was, trying to double hear the messages because I'm a tarot reader and a psychic intuitive, and I've made a lot of friends who are the same. And now I'm back in that shame loop again of feeling like somehow I'm a fraud. This is probably going to be the last video I put on TikTok for a couple of days. I'll still continue to do YouTube, and I'll still be posting on Facebook, but I think I need to give TikTok a break for a couple of days. I feel like I've taken things personally that I shouldn't be taking personally, and it's always bad for me when I start to hyperfixate on that stuff. So I just want to, because I'm sitting here at the table, I just want to see if there's any kind of wisdom that the collective can glean from this. Stuck in lack and victim mindset. Victim mindset, there's a spider web covering a woman here, and then there's the transformation of the butterfly and the sun. This card says you feel the world is against you, and this will only cause you to attract more negative results. Stop the blame and take responsibility for your own happiness. Only then will abundance start to flow. We get stuck in the stories that we tell ourselves, don't we? The transformation is hindered when we're trapped by those stories that we weave. Oh, what a wicked web we weave. Stuck in lack. You have all the resources you need to carry you through, whether it's financial, emotional, or physical limitations that you think you have. It's only ego-based fears taking over. Rein them in and don't give up. Please forgive him for his coughing. I told him I was recording. So maybe the shame that I'm holding is just a little bit of a victim mentality. It's not present. It's not. There's something from my past that's making me feel that way. And I've just kind of got to dig a little bit. And I might be a little bit sensitive to it today, especially ever since that interaction happened, because maybe I do feel a little bit like a fraud. I wasn't a friend. Not to her. Maybe I'm trying to overcompensate a little bit. I just want to connect with people that are like me, and I feel like I'm not being reciprocated, and maybe I'm not being reciprocated because they see something in me that I don't see. What do you see about me that I'm not seeing about myself? So I'm probably going to back off TikTok, and if you want to connect with me, my email address is enlightenedheartministries@gmail.com. Or you can find me on Facebook under my TikTok name, Naomi Campbell, and I'm also, my Enlightened Heart Soul Connection also has a Facebook page. But I'm going to kick off for tonight. I love you guys. Hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you, or well, I guess have a good night. I'll catch you on the next one later.